Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is a response to Dan Brown's Let Them Eat Cake video. Basically, it's about this whole controversy that's been going over for the past several months about these gay wedding cakes and all that. And just gonna give my opinion. Dan is of the more progressive liberal opinion. Now, there are two different aspects of this argument. There's the religious aspect and there's the political aspect. Now, I am a Christian and I consider myself a religious person, but I also am a very strong believer of separation of church and state. I know, a Christian who believes in separating church and state, crazy, right? That's another discussion for another time. But because of this, I'm just going to discuss the political side of the issue. The religious side is also another discussion for another time. Anyway, here's the thing. People try to make this whole issue about, civil rights and about religion, and people bring all of these different types of opinions into the issue that really don't get to the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter is this is an issue of free speech. If you're not going to allow gays into your private business, that's your issue. Do I think it's the right choice? No, I don't. I think it's dumb to not let a specific type of customer based on their demographic group, whether that's based on race or sexual orientation or religion or whatever, into your private business, right? Because the more people you get into your business, the more money you're going to make, right? Why would you want to refuse service to any customer, right? That's how I would approach it if I was a private business owner. However, a lot of people are not that way, and that's their problem. The government shouldn't be getting involved in this issue. These, gay people who are not getting service, shouldn't be suing these businesses based on their views. Like, for example, I'm a straight white male, right? I'm quote-unquote privileged based on, modern social theory or whatever it's called. So I can't make the same type of comparison that a gay man could make. However, I'm part of a demographic group. Like I said, I'm a Christian. So let's say I was going into a private business owned by a Muslim, right? And let's say I go to buy a cake or balloon, or it doesn't matter whatever they sell, right? And I go in there and buy something from him, and he says, "Oh, sorry, we don't serve Christians. We only serve Muslims," right? You know what I would do? I would walk out of that store. I would probably think that person, might be bigoted. He doesn't like Christians, and that's unfortunate, but I'm not going to sue him over it. That's not the government's business to dictate who that person can give or refuse service to. Similarly, if a gay person walks into a bakery and says, "Hi, I want a cake made for my gay wedding," And the guy says, sorry, we don't do that. We don't serve gay people, or we don't bake gay wedding cakes. He can completely just walk out of that store and go to another bakery that makes gay wedding cakes. That's how free market capitalism works, which is how, that's the American economy is free market capitalism. If you don't like the way somebody runs their business, you stop going to that business. You can tell your friends and family, or make a big post on Facebook saying, this business, didn't serve me. This business is bad. Don't go here. Eventually, if enough people catch on, that company will go out of business, and they'll suffer the consequences of having a bad business model in a free market economy. There's no suing or lawmaking needed to punish that business. Another thing that really gets on my nerves about this issue is people compare it to the civil rights movement of the 1950s and Jim Crow laws, right? They say, oh, it's Jim Crow laws all over again. That's not true, because Jim Crow laws was the government, yes, the government actively discriminating against a group of people. These laws said to businesses that, oh, you cannot serve black people. These businesses were not on their own accord saying no blacks allowed. This was a result of the government directly saying you can't serve black people. We no longer have those laws. These are private businesses saying we don't want to serve gay people. The government isn't forcing them not to serve gay people. This is their own free choice, and the government shouldn't get involved in it. Another thing people compare this to is the Civil Rights Act that was legislated in the 1950s, that said, where the government said you have to serve black people, which was basically a complete reaction against the Jim Crow laws. An overreaction, in my opinion. Rather than saying, the first law said you can't serve black people. The second law, after the Civil Rights Movement, said you have to serve black people. My honest opinion is there should be no laws regarding who you can and can't serve. That, as a private business owner, is your choice. If you make a good choice to serve everyone and not be prejudiced, then you will hopefully have a good, thriving business. If you make a bad choice and say, I'm not going to serve so-and-so, I'm not going to serve gay people, I'm not going to serve black people, I'm not going to serve any particular demographic group, then you'll suffer the consequences of having a bad business model. You don't need the government telling you that it's a bad business model. You just need the general public, saying, we're not going to come to your business anymore. So, that's my opinion. Freedom of choice. It's not even about religion, There's this Indiana law saying we can discriminate based on religion. Why do we even need a law saying that? That's just, we've always had that law. It's called the First Amendment, saying you have freedom of speech, you can serve whoever you want. It doesn't have to be based on religion. If you don't want to serve someone based on race, based on religion, based on sexual orientation, it doesn't matter what it's based on. You can serve whoever you want to serve as a private business owner, and the government should not be involved. Now, Dan, I know that you said you wanted opinions from people in the gay community, which I'm not. And I can understand your desire for that, right? Because you want stories from people who have been in that situation, which are very valuable. However, I think it's also important to get opinions on a certain issue from people who are on the outside looking in, who can give a logical explanation as opposed to an emotionally charged explanation. So this is my outside looking in explanation based on the Constitution. I know you'll probably disagree with me. I tend to have very libertarian political views. I disagree with extreme right conservatives and extreme left liberals. But that's just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. Hope you feature at least part of my video on your video. If not, that's cool too. So, thanks for watching, and see you next time I make a video.